Hi, I'm Valentina Nappi and I've been a performer since 2011. Let's talk about content on set. First of all, I want to say that in all these years, I personally never had serious issues with content while working. Of course, there have been misunderstandings and sometimes people push my boundaries, maybe I push theirs, whatever intentionally or not, but I've never felt unsafe. I always known I could say no or walk off set if necessary. That said, I never actually had to do that because I try to respect other people's time, work and money, and my goal has always been to get the scene done. Before shooting, performers must show at least one government issued ID to prove they are over 18. Most companies actually require two forms of IDs with a picture, and this is a standard across the industry to make sure everyone is of legal age and fully consenting. You cannot upload scenes to the major platforms so monetize your content without having all the required documents. Video releases are a standard part of the process. Video release is a short video recorded before and after a scene where the performer answers a set of questions to confirm they are participating willingly and understand to shoot. As a performer, you usually shoot 2 or 3 video releases during the day, depends on company. And one of them can be with your scene's partner or partners to discuss boundaries. Before the scene, as a performer, you might be asked, what's your full legal name? What's your stage name? Are these your real IDs? You get this question asked while holding your IDs next to your face. What day is it? What day were you born? How old are you today? Do you understand the contract you signed or about to sign if you sign it on camera? Are you under the influence of anything that could affect your judgment? Are you aware of the type of scene you're filming? Have you checked your partner health test? Do you understand that you have a safe word or a gesture and you can stop the scene at any time? No one will be upset with you and you will still get paid. And then they ask you to please say the safe word or do the safe hand signal. And after seeing the questions are more focused on how the experience went. Were your boundaries respected? Were you forced to do anything you did not want to do? Did everyone on set treat you with respect? Did you understand the release you signed? Would you want to work with this crew again or for the company? Some companies also have security cameras rolling in common areas for extra transparency from the time you arrive on set till the time you leave. Now, even with all of this, there's been cases where unfortunately boundaries were clearly violated, sometimes by a performer, sometimes by a director or a producer, an agent, and in those cases people have lost their jobs, reputation, and honestly, that's fair. And in more extreme situations, some even ended up in prisons or institutions. I strongly believe that people who enjoy harming or taking advantage of others have no places in any business. But we also have to talk about the other side, because sadly it does exist too. There have been situations where innocent people lost their careers just because they dated the wrong person in the industry. And when drama like that erupts, usually both partners tend to disappear because no one's enjoying uncertainty or conflict while working. And yes, there have been cases where performers, often women, have made false statements out of revenge. I know it's a sensitive topic, but it's important we talk about it because media laws focusing on accusations, and especially when they're made by women. But you rarely hear about people who were falsely accused, people who lost their jobs, reputations, even families because of a lie. While I fully support the new system and protocols to keep performers safe, it's also immoral how easy it has become to cancel a male performer based only on accusations. That doesn't mean I don't believe victims. I absolutely do. But I also believe in fairness and due process. What I struggle to understand is how someone can go to a shoot, to the scene, get paid, and then later on online to complain. I get that sometimes people have had bad experiences, miscommunications happen, people get mistreated, but why not speak up on set? Why not talk to your agent, to the director, to your scene partner before ending up online? And why are words like assault thrown around so casually? If you want to build a safer, more respectful industry, we need to have real conversations, both about protecting performers and about handling conflict in a responsible, fair way. The saddest part is that even if a production can prove someone innocent, usually companies don't want to get involved, and they don't often support because they're afraid of public backlash. And I know productions that have thrown away entire scenes that cost thousands and thousands of dollars just because a performer got a new jealous boyfriend. And I also know different male performers who had serious injuries on set, who had to take months of work, and yet they said nothing publicly, never accused, never sued. Now imagine if the roles were reversed. If a film performer were injured during a scene and couldn't work for months, it will rightfully be a major scandal. But when this happens to a guy, no one talks about it. False accusations also make real victim less believable, and that's one of the most damaging things. In this business, a lot of people already wrongly believe that because you perform on camera, you have somehow given up your right to say no or speak up if something bad happens. So when someone lies, they're not just hurting the person they accuse, they're hurting all of us. People forget that this is a job. And it's not just about pleasure, it's work. And entertainment work already isn't easy, either physically or mentally. And yes, content is ongoing, and yes, you can change your mind in the middle of a scene. That's your right. I stop for water. But we also have to be realistic. Shoots don't exist in a vacuum. If a male performer can perform, there's no scene. If a website specializes in a certain type of videos and a performer last minute decides not to do that type of scene, the shoot gets cancelled. No one gets paid. The producer loses money on location, crew, performer, cancellation fee, agency fee, penalties, and so on. So while your body is always your own, your decisions also have real consequences for everyone else on set. And that's why I always do my research before accepting a booking. I check if the company style matches my boundaries, and after all these years I know what I'm into and what I'm not. For example, I don't do water sports, so I won't work for a website that shoot that. It's not a personal choice, it's a professional choice. Still, misunderstanding can happen. One day I wore hair extensions and I asked my scene partner not to pull my hair. But because I usually enjoy getting my hair pulled, he forgot and pulled my hair anyway. And I know it wasn't malicious, it was just his muscle memory. So I calmly remind me, hey, please remember I have extensions on today, don't pull my hair. And that's why communication is so important, and why we have to actually listen when someone gives you a note. One time I worked with a female performer who didn't like facials. For her it was a hard no. And I told her straight up, if that's your limit, maybe this is not the right business for you. And I didn't want to be mean, but I have to tell her the truth. Adult content work is a job, and most people shoot facials, and it's a standard. So if you're refusing to do them and you decide last minute, you're slowing down the day and making it harder for everyone else. Your co-stars, director, the crew, and the company pay for everything. Adult entertainment is actually a great job for people who want to explore their sexuality, learn more about themselves, and have new experiences physically, emotionally, and professionally. It's about openness, connection, and pushing your own boundaries safely. But if you're not that type of person, and if you're not curious about willing to explore, then the adult film industry might not be for you, and that's totally fine. There are other options like custom videos and indie videos. But if you show up for a mainstream shoot, you need to understand what you're signing up for. Nobody's forcing anyone to be here, and once you say yes, you're experienced to do the job. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to know more about this topic, feel free to comment and we can talk about it more in the comments.